So I thought I'd make this video on Mikayla. I'm beginning to think to myself, this is about you being in porn, or not you being in porn, a porn video. There's a tremendous amount of graphics that people are doing. I don't know who's doing this on my phone. The likeliness that me coming across you on a porn video was intentionally done. There's no way that you're talking, just in the last 10 years, there's probably been 300,000 videos professionally done. You categorize it, it's probably been at least 100,000 videos of girls that look like you. And for it to come as I'm scrolling through there, and as it looks like, I don't know really what to say. I think the professionals are involved. I think that whoever in whatever situation that you're dealing with, you probably dealt with it a long time ago. But I don't know what what your mother thinks of it. I'm pretty sure, because I don't know what that situation is. I don't know what relationship you had with your mother. Maybe it was bad. All I can tell you is, you being my sister, it is hurtful, not toward me because of your actions, because I know you were taken advantage of. And I know that the people are responsible. The President of the United States, he's met Kim Kardashian more than once, and Kim Kardashian was in his office, and working to free people from prison. So, and she was in a porn video. So, I know that this isn't the first time, and given the fact that I had told Mikayla, I had told you that, and I said, the President of the United States, Barack Obama, is directly involved. And at the time when this happened, and I said everything, and I told you, the first thing I told you, I said it's because of Michael Jackson, and I mentioned his family, and that's why. That has to be very awful for such a pretty girl, let alone just my sister, knowing that video is not just out there for the rest of your life, but knowing, and everyone, that it did happen at such a young age, and how you were taken advantage of, and you're my sister, it's not going to feel good. It's a shameful thing that will shun you for the rest of your life because of that. It's best to keep that private, but I know that it wasn't your fault. You were young. I know that what the circumstances is that I know who did it. I know that there was a group of family members, Ken and Sarah, and Kenneth especially, that should have said something to me. I had no idea that this was going on. Because all you got to do is wait until tragedy strikes. And when tragedy strikes, it's too late. They're going to keep mapping out, explaining psychology and whatever happens. But I just wanted to say that I couldn't imagine, what your mom and, you probably had a pretty good upbringing, that you'd be shunned like that. The way that I got shunned and raped by a transgender, and I'm your brother, that is a magnitude that is, I haven't had any intimacy since I was 25 years old. And it was 15 years ago. They wasted me away in ways that it would have been better for me to make a porn video, because at least I would have continued having a normal sex life. But I could never describe enough, and I'm extremely intelligent and smart when I say this, and how detailed I can get with this. The Vondu dance of how women and men attract each other as sexual partners before the whole act of sex. It's all before the act of sex. The dance, serenading, chemistry, all these wonderful colors. And, I think that, all that was shunned away, and to me, there's non-existence. I got gray hairs. My hair is falling out on top of my head. I could never. My mother, my brother Frankie, our biological father. There's a mess of things that this shouldn't have happened to you, and it shouldn't happen to me. But just like they targeted me, they targeted you. And I can never describe this enough, that I came in contact with Michelle and Barack Obama, and the people that were being sent after me. All I can tell you is I hope you still think I'm your brother. I hope one day that you do not ever think to yourself that somehow you don't want to associate with me of any kind. But I have to respect the wishes of what you choose, and whatever President Barack Obama has ordered against me with the presidents that have been lining up, sending psychologists and whatever it is that they do. If there is anything, if there is something you want to go talk to President Barack Obama. Write him letters. Why did you do this to me? How can I fix it? Let's work on this. I don't know. But all I can tell you is what was happened to me is being hanging on the strings of life to try to even manage to get to 40 years old, let alone I don't know how many more years I have left. A lot of celebrities, I watch celebrities like, I watch a lot of celebrities out there. Recently, like Alice Rodriguez, and I clicked on his wife's or girlfriend's, and I watching her doing an interview, and she mentioned something. Her daughter looks just like you, and I was like, whoa. And I was like, I don't know what relationship you have with your mother, but there's more to life than any of that camera and fame stuff. I don't know what that has done to your career. I don't know. I just personally wish it never would have happened to you, and how you were I just personally wish you weren't targeted. But there was nothing that I could do, because any defense, no matter how piercing it is, and how evidence and how confronting I can be with making you understand that no matter how much you're forgiven or you can move on from this, I know the group of people that allowed and eventually had the intentions to have something like that happen, just like they did it to me. And just like it did, you have no idea what has happened to my mother or my brother Frankie. And the President Barack Obama is going to cover the tail end of Sarah and Ken and that family, and Kenneth, because they support the black radio station. And he's hip-hop. You're never going to win against him, neither am I. My suggestion, surrender to him. Go along. If he laughs, you laugh too. Drink a beer with him, drink a beer with him. As they say, it's like a hitman. There's nothing that can be done about the situation. I can't, I as a brother and as a person, I would be like that person you would ever hear about. Best advice, work out, a healthy, functional, going through this adventure world, and get to know my brothers. My brother Julian was a bouncer at a strip club. Do you know what would have happened? Julian would be great if you would have had met him, because if we were all together, especially as we were growing up and getting younger, he would have protected you. Julian would have protected you and helped you. He would have, and he's an identical twin. He would have been a great person to look after you, because he's already has that instinct bouncer thing that he does. He was working with strip clubs and strippers. If he found out that his sister that died next door, and you're my sister, and we share sister, you would have had an extra person to watch out after you. You're never going to win anything against that president, Barack Obama, and whatever he doesn't even have anything to do with. He can't control certain circumstances. But that's all I can say about that. The psychologist and the orders, all I could say is as shit went down the drain for my life. At least you got a better life, huh? And it's a very slum way to be in my position, because I think of my biological father and what he would think. he's still alive and if he's still healthy. That his sweet little daughter was being ransacked on videotape by a Mandingo Dick 6'4" looking guy on camera, and you're just 19 years old, 20 years old. Let alone, do you know that Michael Jackson has already ended into your life, and if you ever do anything it's famous, it's going to affect you for the rest of your life and even careers. And we all make mistakes, but a lot of people that get into porn, all people that get into porn don't get this magnitude. I mean, you got celebrities that make sex tapes, but that was a tragedy. But we make choices in life. There's a lot of people that made it a lot worse. So I got it 10 times worse. So as far as I have anything to say with these circumstances that goes with this is I hope you're well. I just hope you're staying healthy. First time I saw you was 35. I'm 40 years old. It's 5 years. My assumption, life has already moved on. My assumption, it probably doesn't bug you no more that much. And there's nothing that can be done about it. You have some of the worst people of humankind at this entertainment. You have, not some, I'm sorry, don't make this confusing. You have the worst of all entertainment of people prowling on you and me. The worst of the highest scales on this world. And you have no idea how unforgiving, unforgiving, malicious, aggressive, devouring, guttering, parasitical motherfuckers are in this entertainment business. And they're just running the wagon until I die, until my mother dies, until it just gets wasted even worse. Develop cancer, limbs, doesn't. They don't give a fuck. And, I hope you're well, if your mother's well, but I don't make any choices at all, whatsoever. You're probably going to be best, in my opinion, with your mother. If you try to associate with my mother's twins, they're not going to trust you, and they're probably not going to like you. And it's because the female thing, and because my mother has dementia, and they think you want to intervene. And my mom's twins have already, Barack Obama ordered that. And they're going to keep doing that. And Sarah Cooper and Ken Cooper and Michelle, Kenneth Cooper at the radio station, everything that they did malicious to me and my mother makes it even that much more worse. The president doesn't care. The keys are in their hand. They're in full control. And I accept that. They say what goes. I follow their spirits and energy to what goes toward my mother at best to make everything as calm and forward going. Ken Cooper's a hero now, and I have to lie, and I'm going to have to lie like that because the President of the United States is the one, Barack Obama. There's no reason why Barack Obama should have approached me at an Albertsons, at a McDonald's, and been engaging like that, knowing that there was going to be a political possible horror that was going to happen to me, or use that on a later note that was going to be harmful toward my life and my mother, and it was. He's in charge. I don't know what to tell you. He's in charge. He's a captain. I have to respect his decisions. He makes world orders. Just best I can say is be grateful for the life that you have, because there's so many people out there that had it worse. And I don't think that that's not how you should look at this tragedy, because you should have a Princess Cinderella story, but you won't have sort of, life is sort of a fantasy world to begin with. But, it's not something that you would have deserved to have something like that. You get placed on camera and shunned like that. My mother got the magnitude of 10 times what you received. And, my brother and nobody cared, and they don't care. Just remember this, they don't care. They don't give a fuck about your life. They just want to devour you, hurt you mentally and spiritually against me, against my mother, in any way that they can, so relentlessly in the efforts to support Kenneth Cooper, the radio station, and Sarah and Ken. I can never describe enough how President Barack Obama has been saying a lot of things and maliciously protecting and ordering people to come around me for the fights and militias of Ken and Sarah Cooper and that family, what they did. The magnitude is unbelievable, that it's like Auschwitz. It's like coming across Hitler, where they always win. You don't disagree with anything they have to say. You don't argue. You don't disagree. If you want to stay healthy and ever see me alive again, then I suggest do that. Because I may not see you alive ever again because of my life not being here on this world anymore and killed or murdered or assassinated because of that motherfucker. Because that fucker right there, that president, whether he wants to say it's his fault or not, oh well, I don't care. Move forward, save the country. My life is garbage and trash. So, I don't know really what. It is too late. I could never express that I really would have liked you to have a Cinderella story, a princess story, but my mother's not even here anymore in this world to function mentally to know what's going on. And that's so much devastation. The fact that I can never describe the fact of what the president has ordered with Sarah, Ken, and Kenneth. There's nothing I could. He's the one that's giving these orders and allowing it. You're never going to defeat a retired detective, police officer, and Sarah. They are wiping away the intent. This is so mentally prepared and how agonizing, how targeting this is directly toward me, directly toward Julian, directly toward my brother Frankie, directly toward, even more toward my mother. If the President of the United States is allowing this to happen to me, and all this suffering and shit that they did and shoved in my mom's throat, then you are probably not going to have any more compassion or they're not going to be merciful to your life. There's a lot of suffering out there. They don't care. So please protect yourself. Please be safe out there. I hope you got a wonderful career. I dream and still dream of having a college degree and doing something different in my life that's very beautiful and rewarding out of the music and entertainment field, especially the music and entertainment field. There's so many beautiful careers out there. And that I lived long enough to even have 4 or 5 years of a career once I would graduate, from a college or university. I mean, it's wow, if anything like that to ever happen. But yeah, I'm not trying to sound like a coward because I saw the guy there, and I'm pretty, if I would have, if I was more manly like as Ken Cooper was and everyone else is, I would have approached the guy and asked him some questions and sort of size him up. But I have to respect the idea that, I don't know why you would have done this willingly on videotape, or maybe it was all edited, maybe it was totally someone else. I have no idea, and that's why. But I have to respect the also decisions of what you made and he made. He's also a man as well, and you're a female. But I wish that something like that wouldn't have happened to you. You really deserve, a preppy, good, kind, jockey guy who's going to college and has a college degree, makes something of your life, and have a beautiful family. I got gutted out. My life's done. As far as kids, I was just murdered away, and I could never describe what the President of the United States is. Put the anguish on me. I'll never have none of those things in my life again. None of them. Nothing young. Nothing. The things that were free and shouldn't have been stolen or robbed from me were devoured and taunted right in my face consistently in ways that would drive anybody to crazy suicide, self-destruction acts. And I just have to accept that that's all my life value was. It was valued different while I was alive, but I know that it was intentionally targeted toward me, and there was nothing that's ever going to be done about it. There was no justice at all, because this is all about different prejudice and racism, and there's so many people in the entertainment that are shooting down at you and every single person on the face of this planet. I'm walking down on the Las Vegas Strip. Do you know how many hundreds of millionaires there are in this fucking city? It's like the top 5 number of millionaires in the entire U.S., top 10 in the world. These casinos cost billions of dollars in such elegance. Best of entertainments of all kinds, sports and music and entertaining are right here. They all know who I am. You don't know what they're doing in their house, who they're calling, who they're hiring to come after you and your mother, any other brothers you may have, stepbrothers you may have, just like they did to me and my mother, and just like they did to Julian, just like they did to Frankie. So, I cannot say anything against the president and just to go, he's giving the orders. I can't sit there and say, well, I hate the president, because it is the truth. Some of that he didn't have any control over. But at this magnitude, when you're messing with politics, it's not a world you ever want to touch and be a part of. Leave that alone for them. They're smart enough. They know what they're doing. They know how to run a country. And that's not my place to be there. I understand that very clearly. But, just want to make sure, hope you're doing healthy. There's nothing that Barack Obama is ever going to do about having Kenneth Cooper mingling with Julian after this whole situation where Kenneth gets his last laugh glory and before he dies and he's old, and Sarah Cooper associating, because the minute that I see them with my mother in a visit, that's what I'm going to do. I want to watch and see how Sarah and Ken behave toward my mother. And they know that's coming. You have no idea that every single increment footstep is all being covered up by that president for them. He wants to he's completely delusionally covering up, making them the glory winners, feeling compassion and sincerity. These people have had so much money throughout their life, so much power, and whatever secret life that's been going on, you have no idea what a real life, how dangerous it is to mess with these people and what they did. I can't even imagine my mother trying to talk to them because they're training her twins, to then associate, to then scold my mother, because it doesn't matter. This is my mother. My mother. The version of my mother I grew up with, who she is, like I'm her son. I'm not even her son. They're co-mothers, and they're just sort of caretakers to her. I'm just a stranger that sort of just kind of friends with my mother. That's it. And they won't let me talk to my mother, so my real mother. And that's the president. I don't know what to tell you. This is a never-ending war that's never going to end, but only end in tragedy. I hope you're fine. I'm 40 years old. I had spent Christmas, Thanksgiving with my immediate family, with my mother, since I was 11 years old. Can you believe that? Since I was 11 years old. If I wasn't a kid enough for somebody to help me out, it's not going to say anything. Because they took the house, they took my money, they got a disease, didn't change, nobody gave me a good job, nobody wanted to help me, nobody cared. I was being scummed, got 25 tickets from the police department, being roughhoused inside the police cars and inside jail. Nothing. I was worthless. Only to their benefit and gain. Extermination. To learn how to devour and kill your opponent. And take all resources from that person that's benefiting to you and your intentional movement. But I hope you stay fine and healthy. Who knows how many more years we all have. I just know I'm not on the good luck list. I'm on the lucky list, that's for sure. Take care. And, let there be God with you.